Hey kings and queens, it's Queen Tajay and I am back with another video, and today I will be using my non-dominant hand, which is my right hand, to do my nail sculpts on my dominant hand, which is my left hand, so stay tuned. So I've already prepped my nails and cleaned up my cuticle area. Now I'm just showing you how I apply my nail forms. I do have a very deep C curve, which is a good thing, but sometimes not for nail forms. So I'm showing you from the side how it looks when I place the form on my natural nail and how you can see a little gap. So I will cut on the side of this nail form so that it feels comfortable up under my nail. That way I do not have too much space between my natural nail and the nail form. It'll be flush with my nail and I can just go in with my acrylic. I had already applied my dehydrator to all of the fingernails except for my middle one, so that is what you just saw not too long ago. Now I'm going in with my IBD primer. I am going in with my clear acrylic from C-Tones, and as always I will leave that code down below so you all can shop. But I'm just going in with very wet beads of that clear acrylic, very thin beads as well. I'm going to lay it very thin so that my nail isn't too thick later on. So that is just to help not stain my nails, and with these colors I really didn't need it for any nail but the pinky, because I'm going to use red on the pinky nail, but I just did it because that's just a part of my steps. You know, sometimes as a nail tech, when we skip certain steps, we tend to mess up the whole set because you know, we're used to doing it strategically. So I'm just applying that clear acrylic very thin, and then I am going to come back and talk about the colors. In this video, I will be using C-Tones new collection. It is called Fire and Icicles, and of course I will link that below. This white is called Sea Dragon, so it is a glow in the dark white, and you know, it's pretty nice. I do want to say, while I was doing this, again, I'm using my non-dominant hand, so I am going to be going very, very slow. But this is kind of like an off-white. It's kind of like Rhythmic, which is another off-white on her site, but it glows. And this was very easy to work with. Y'all know I was a little upset one of my last videos because I couldn't it's harder for me to work with white acrylic. So this wasn't hard to work with at all. I don't know if it's because it's an off-white and she maybe mixed clear or pinkish in it. I'm not sure, but this was very easy for me to work with. And I've also was using very, very wet beads. So when I sat down this acrylic, I immediately started patting because I was scared it was going to dry, but it was actually a good consistency. Of course, you pat from sidewall to sidewall. Make sure you cover those sidewalls and then you drag down if possible. Normally with your first bead, you don't have to do a lot of dragging down. Once you get to your second bead, that is when you start dragging down because you want to blend all of your acrylic beads together to make a clean and smooth nail. And right here, you will see what I am talking about. I am going to lay this medium-sized acrylic bead, pat it to the sides, make sure it gets to each side. And right here, I'm adding more monomer so I can have more control over the bead. I'm patting. And then once it's to the side walls, I am going to pull it down lightly to blend it with the first bead. And that's how you get a smooth nail. Again, with this white color, it was very easy. So I don't know if it's because it's a little diluted with clear or whatever else she put in there, but it definitely was much easier than me using really, really white acrylic. Or maybe it's because I was using Young Nails white acrylic. I'm not sure, but this color is definitely it. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the next bead. Pat, pat, pat until it gets to the side wall, and then once it gets to the side wall, I am going to blend it. There you go. So the next color I will be using is called Beach Ray, And this was also pretty easy to use. As you can tell, I was spilling everything everywhere. Of course, it wouldn't be me if I didn't do so. But I am just going to continue the same method. I am going to place those beads. I'm going to let it run just a little bit and then pat it from sidewall to sidewall. Once I get to the sidewall, I am going to start shaping and patting it down to the length that I want. And once I get to the second bead, I am going to pat that to each sidewall and then drag that into the first bead that I used. That way it's smoothened out, like it's going to be a very smooth nail. So the next color is going to be Sony or Sunny. No, that's Sony. Sony Lake. And if I'm pronouncing it wrong, just ignore it. This was a pretty nice orange. I really liked it. And of course, again, I'm going to continue doing the same method that I've been doing. Of course, at the beginning, I did cut the side of these the middle nail nail form so that it fits perfectly up under my nail, because I do have a deep C curve on my two middle fingers, my ring and my middle finger. So you just saw me make sure that it was no gap, and then I went straight in with that beautiful orange color, pat to each side, and pat it all the way down to the length that I wanted, which I was putting them all at 4 because I knew I wanted it at a 3. Typically, if you put it exactly where you want it to be, if you're not as good with forms, and in this case I am, but I'm using my non-dominant hand, you can overfile, and then it'll be shorter than you want. So if you put it a little longer than what you actually wanted, you have that wiggle room to perfect your shape and your length afterwards. Next, I am going to go in with the glitter. The glitter does not have a name, and I looked on the website and it didn't have a name either on there, but most of the time when she does this, it's because she's not going to restock the color. So sometimes when you see me using a color and I don't mention the name and you can't find the name, it's just in a collection. It is because when she runs out the collection, she will not be restocking. For the pinky nail, I will be using this red color named Lake Fire. It is a pretty red. It's not even like a horror red. I know we've all heard of that, us 90s babies have, maybe even 80s. So to me, it's not a horror red because it's not too bright, but it's enough to be seen. So I'm going to be using that on my pinky. To be honest, this set was pretty easy to me, but this pinky nail gave me a hard time, even when it was time to file. So again, we are going to lay that acrylic, pat from each side, put it down to about a 4, so that way I have some wiggle room to shape afterwards, and you know, continuously do the last steps. So again, this nail was kind of hard. It turned out wider than I wanted it to, but that is why it's important to always shape your nail as close to the shape that you want as possible while you're doing your acrylic. Even if you're using nail tips, you want to make sure you pat the sides. So yeah, I Like I said, I had a really hard time. You can even see right here, it was like drying, but I think my brush was dirty at this point. But you can see me like going in and out the frame. That's because I'm adding more monomer and trying to keep up with the acrylic. It wasn't horrible, but it definitely gave me a hard time. I was going for a square look, so it did give me that, but at first it was even too wide for me to even consider it as a square. So it took a lot of filing with the pinky nail. So I am done with that pinky nail. I am then going to go back to my thumbnail and take off all of the nail forms. I'm not going to show me filing all of the nails because I was just all in the camera and out of the camera and to the side. So I'm not going to show everything, but I'm going to encapsulate some of these with clear acrylic, those that I thought was too thin. And as you all know, once I close my colored acrylic, that's it. So once I close my colored acrylic, I'll just go in and encapsulate everything with clear acrylic, let that settle for a minute, and then I'll start filing. You will only see me file the thumbnail. Again, that is because I was out of the camera for the rest of the nails, but it's the same technique. So once I'm done shaping all of my nails, I'm going to go in with some alcohol, clean my nails, and then apply my non-wipe gel top coat from Cetones, and then apply my oil, and of course take my beautiful pictures. To thank all of you kings and queens for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Click on that notification bell so you know when I post. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.